Hello, Carl here with Sustainability Theory News. We're over at hobbyfarms.com, and they have a great article, The Best Way to Get 10 Popular Crops to Market. So, basically, the name of the game is getting field heat off of your vegetables or produce. Field heat is basically the accumulated heat units that the plants will get in the field. So a lot of times that requires you to maybe pick in the morning. Maybe you need to douse it in ice water. Maybe you need to put it right in the cooler right away. But if you douse some plants like potatoes in water, it will just accelerate the rotting process. So lettuce, it's important to cut early in the morning, wash and spin right away so it's dry before you package it, and then put in vented plastic bags or clamshells, and keep refrigerated around 32 degrees, but not frozen. If it goes frozen, it will increase the rotting. Sweet corn, they can have a tendency to not off gas, but really get rid of a lot of their moisture in the first few hours. So you want to let them sit out before you package them. You want to store them in a cooler around 32 degrees because hotter temperatures can make it a little slimy in consistency. So you want to pick your corn no more than a day before the market because it diminishes in sweetness very quickly. Now, heirloom tomatoes. Some people don't like to refrigerate their tomatoes. They say it might decrease flavor, slow the ripening process, but some people say you really need to if you want to have them really fresh for market. Around 37 to 55 degrees, aka cellar temperatures, are preferred. If you have a nice shady spot, that might work as well, but don't stack them too high in boxes, maybe one or two high. They'll start compounding, bruising together. I believe they might off-gas an ethylene gas that will accelerate ripening, sort of like apples. Alright, so packaging, they should be in well-vented containers, that's for sure, sold individually. Broccoli and cauliflower should not be packaged or encapsulated at all. They should be sold in bunches, allowed to breathe. They should be, I believe these ones need to be dunked in ice water, for 1 minute to help preserve right away. And you want to store them at around 32 degrees, but again, not below freezing. Alright, so, and broccoli, cauliflower, very prone to pests, so you want to inspect the heads very carefully. Garlic, the soft neck garlic can be braided together and cured that way. Cured around, I think they recommend 55 to 60 degrees in a curing, a nice dark, dry environment. And the hard neck has to be cut, and it can't really be braided like the soft neck garlic can, but they do need to be cured. Otherwise, they will not last as long. If it's properly cured, it can last for months and months. And crops like garlic and potatoes and onions, that if they're stored properly and last months, it's great for a farmer because you can do all the work once and get paid for it week after week after week at the market. Alright, so radishes and turnips. They recommend having a nice food-safe bin of ice water at market to keep these crops moist and wet in order to appear fresh and good. Store at 32 degrees for the longest shelf life. You want to dunk them in a bucket of water and then stack in bins. Peas, and lastly, I should mention that the food safety laws in each state are a little bit different, so you may need commercial kitchen equipment or a basic food safety inspection in order to do some of these processing. A lot of states don't mind if you do some basic washing as long as you don't sell them as washed greens, and you encourage people to wash them as well. So peas, again, they recommend early in the morning and put them in the cooler as quick as possible. Get rid of that field heat. Maybe you could dry the peas and sell them as dried peas or sell them as fresh. They do respire heavily, kind of like corn, and should be kept in 32 degrees. And bringing a cooler to market might be helpful. Keep them out of the sun. That's really helpful advice for any vegetable or produce, but peas and lettuces especially. Potatoes, again, you do not want to wash them. You just want to brush the dirt off. You want to fork them out of the ground, and basically when the tops start to die off, that's a good time to start harvesting them. Same with the melons to a little extent. They have little tendrils that are near the stem, and when those start to die off, that's a good time to harvest melons. They also recommend refrigerating melons. They say around 27 to 32 degrees. Freezing really doesn't affect them too much. But not everyone will refrigerate melons, and but they'll last longer if you have a walk-in cooler. If you don't have a walk-in cooler, I highly recommend making one with a CoolBot, which kind of hacks an air conditioning system, a wall unit or window unit AC. But you can also do it with a couple of relay-controlled thermostats if you really are a fancy do-it-yourselfer. Cucumbers, the slipped off the vines, you should probably wear gloves because the vines can be a little spiky. They want to be around cellar temperatures of 50 degrees for the longest life. And they look best when they're moist, so you can spritz them with a little spray bottle at market. But again, check your food safety laws in your area. I will link to this page in the description if you want to read more about it, and if you'd like to see more news headlines like this, subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.